Evie is 8.5 years old, and she's been doing this for 8 years now. So she has shared her message with over 60,000 kids and their families. She's been to Washington, D.C., Orlando, Florida, but she loves her friends in Tennessee, so it's very special for her to come visit with them. Evie's name stands for Every Volunteer is Essential, and we think it's very important that when people see litter, don't just look at it and think somebody else is going to pick it up. Evie would not walk past it. She would pick it up. So that was the message we wanted to send to kids and their families. Don't litter, but yet if you see litter, be a good citizen and pick it up. Evie does have both of her books, and the other book is Evie Goes Clean and Green. So after you pick up the litter, Evie wants you to retrieve the litter, then reduce your use, recycle, and reuse. My daddy says I have to learn how to be a good citizen, even though I am just a little puppy. My daddy says I'm a good girl and so smart. I can sit, stay, lie down, walk on a leash, and retrieve. I love to retrieve best of all. Sometimes I show my wildlife friends the lessons I have learned. One day, my daddy took me down to the Ohio River, but you guys have the Harpeth River. We saw that coming here. I got so excited when I saw all that water. I tried really hard not to jump in, but I just couldn't resist all those big sticks floating along the bank. I loved retrieving those sticks, but then something shiny bobbed up and down right in front of my nose. You have an idea of what that might be? Huh? It looks like a sun, doesn't it? Since I was so smart, I remembered what that shiny thing was. My family puts those shiny things into a big blue box. Yes, it was a soda can, just like the ones my family recycles. I don't know, we've changed our color of recycle boxes now in our community. Do you have recycle boxes at your house?
I do.
What color is it? Is it blue? Awesome, so you know those blue boxes. I made my retrieve and took the prize to my daddy. He was very proud of me, but he said I could cut my mouth trying to retrieve cans. He was telling me that we could take it home to recycle, but I had already plunged back into the river. I couldn't believe my luck. Uh-oh, look at that. Look what's happening. Soda cans were floating everywhere. I didn't know which one to grab first. And just then I heard my daddy say, Evie, you can't retrieve all those cans. We would be here all day, and you could get hurt. Why would she get hurt if she retrieved a soda can? Have you, you know, why?
Because
she can cut her mouth, exactly, and we wouldn't want that to happen. Kids can get cut too, so we wouldn't want that. Maybe some of our friends will help us retrieve these cans another day. I really didn't like leaving those cans, but I had to be a good citizen and obey my daddy. It was lunchtime, so we drove up to one of those places that hands you a sack full of food out of a window. I'd love to stick my head out of the car and drool at those nice people. Where do you think she might be? Where do you think, Evie? Evie, come back. Sit. Sit. Where do you think she might be? Where do you like to go? Do you like to go get food? A restaurant? Yeah. Yeah. Could be McDonald's, Burger King. Do you have a Chick-fil-A down here?
Yeah.
Oh, Evie loves Chick-fil-A. She likes to drool at those people that hand you a sack full of food out of the window. All of a sudden, I saw a man drop his yummy sack on the ground. I was so excited that I barked to let that man know that I would gladly help retrieve his sack. As Daddy stopped the car to pick up the sack, I forgot my good girl manners. Now, wait a minute. Why would you drop your sack? If you went to McDonald's and got a sack full of food, did that man really drop his sack? Would you do that? If you dropped it, what would you do? If you dropped it, you would pick it?
Pick it up.
Oh, yeah, it's your supper or your lunch. You wouldn't just leave it. So I'm thinking he did something else. I jumped out of the car and had that sack in my mouth before Daddy could get out of his seat belt. I looked all around for the man who dropped his sack. and he was gone. And to my surprise, so was the food in that sack. I was really confused because my family always put our empty sacks in the trash can at home. I am sure they do this so I can walk by and sniff for a few days. Then I spotted 2 more sacks and wondered if the food was still in them. I looked around for the owners of the sacks because I was convinced that they didn't know their sacks were missing. Maybe they saw me retrieve the empty sack and wanted to leave me sacks with food. You know, I always did get rewards at obedience school for retrieving. What's wrong with that trash can? It's sad. Why is it sad? Yeah, instead of putting it inside there, they're littering for sure. My thoughts were quickly interrupted as Daddy took the sack from my mouth. He threw it into a trash bin that was just a few steps away from where I found all the sacks. Evie, you can't retrieve everything around this place. We would be here all day, and you could get sick. Maybe some of our friends could help us retrieve these sacks another day. Uh-oh, why could Evie get sick from those sacks?
Because she could swallow one.
Mm-hmm. Does Evie need to eat onions and pickles and stuff like that could be in that sack? No. Oh, that would make her sick. Now, hamburgers, she might want to eat that. But what gets on your food in the summertime if you go on a picnic? Bugs. Yeah, she shouldn't eat the bugs. Yeah. I felt kind of sad as I hung my head out of a window on our drive home. I love sniffing the air when we are driving on the Lloyd Expressway. But you guys could be driving down Main Street, right? I kept thinking about all the things I didn't retrieve, and I didn't understand why people would throw or drop things if they weren't playing retrieving. Look how sad she looks. That's pitiful. She tried to help. Oh, this is the bad part. I felt a little better when some kids waved at me as their car passed, and then, ouch, I felt a little sting on my nose, and it really started to hurt. I whimpered for a moment, and then I just let out a howl. My daddy pulled over to see what had happened, and he saw smoke coming from the car seat. I had been hit by a cigarette butt. Those kids who waved at me were nice, but some adult in that car had thrown the cigarette out when they passed us. My daddy put some cool water on my nose, and he said my fur was going to be okay. That's bad, isn't it? Yeah, because that could start a fire, and that is so bad. And look, poor Evie got burned. I didn't feel like sniffing any more air until we got to Labrador Lane. I knew I wouldn't have to worry about litter bugs throwing fire at me once I got home. The only kind of bugs on fire would be for the fireflies that I like to chase in my backyard. Do you guys like to chase the fireflies? Yeah, Evie. Oh, Evie loves that. That night before bedtime, my daddy said he had been thinking about what a good citizen I was. I had tried to retrieve the trash people had left, but it was more litter than I could ever retrieve alone. He said, Evie, let's call our friends from Keep Williamson County beautiful. And together we can spread the word. Okay. My daddy and I were both wagging our tails and dancing around the room. As we were dancing, my daddy gave a cheer. Evie, E-V-I-E. But then he stopped because he had another good idea. Evie, your name can send a message to our friends. E for every. V for volunteer. I for is, E essential. Every volunteer is essential in keeping our communities beautiful. Now I know why I'm so smart. I'm Daddy's little girl. And it says, help Evie retrieve litter. And she's going to keep her community, Evansville, beautiful, and you can help keep Williamson County beautiful. And that is the end of Evie's books. But can you tell me, in this book, there was something that Evie needed that she didn't have. What did she need?
To pick up trash.
She needed what? She needed more friends, didn't she? There was lots of litter. She needed friends. So some of her real friends got together and made a little video. And we're hoping that by you being here today, that now you're going to be Evie's official friends. So I'm going to show you a little video, and then we're going to stop and ask you some questions, okay? So this is Evie's video, so I'm going to move over, and then we'll stop and ask you some questions. All right, Evie, sit down. They're going to be good listeners. Here we are. Turn that up just a little bit.
Ew, but litter, the trash that some people throw out on the ground instead of in the trash bin. Well, fortunately, there are all kinds of litter. Glass bottles, aluminum cans, candy wrappers, cigarette butts, plastic bags, fruit peels. Oh, it makes my head hurt just thinking about it all. In addition to the kids' ugly, litter can also harm our animal friends. Broken glass, spoiled food, cigarette butts, and plastic bags can all hurt animals when they mistakenly eat it or leave them forever. And do you know how long trash is around? Some of it can last for more than 500 years. That's incredible. I wonder how long. Hey kids, have your teacher turn off the DVD and take a moment to talk in your classroom about producing the most litter and how it makes you feel. Back in a minute.
Okay. Do you think Evie looked cute being 500 years old with that gray hair? Okay, Evie wants to know, where do you see the most litter? We'll talk about, where do you see the most?
One time I went to the lake and there was a whole bunch of people.
By the lakes? Yeah.
In the park?
In the park, lakes, parks, where do you see litter?
Well, pretty much everywhere.
You know what? High five, buddy. And that's not good that we see it everywhere, but you're right, pretty much everywhere. Where do you see litter?
I'm at the park.
At the park? Where do you see litter?
At the park?
Do you ever see park at your or litter at your schools?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the playground? Have you ever seen litter there?
No.
Yeah, but he said it right. You pretty much see litter everywhere, right? How does it make you feel when you see litter? Sad? Yeah. How does it make you feel when you see litter? How do you feel when you see litter? How else do you feel? Mad. Oh, yeah. Sad, mad. I know. I don't like to get mad, but sometimes it makes me mad that people would throw that down. How do you feel?
Worried.
Worried. Why would you be worried?
Because someone could trip or get hurt.
Right, and it's really hurting the earth. Okay, those were some good ideas. Let's listen to the video some more. You were good listeners.
You all shared know a lot. Great ideas. Now let me share an interesting thing about my name. Did you know that my name actually is a backronym? A backronym is a word made up of each of the first letters of other words. My name is a backronym for E, every, V, volunteer, I is essential. Every volunteer is essential. I think you would make a great volunteer. Take a moment and see if you can come up with some ideas of how we can volunteer to help make our community a better, cleaner place to live.
You can tell Evie was a lot younger when she made this video, wasn't she? She was a little bit on the skinny side in it. Okay, she wants to know, first of all, what is a volunteer? Someone who helps out with something. Can you tell me a little bit more? Someone who helps out with something. Yes, but does a volunteer get paid? No. Mr. Harp and I volunteer all the time. Evie volunteers. When you volunteer to do something, you just do it because it makes you feel good here, right? In your heart, you feel good. You just do it because you know it needs to be done. How could you volunteer to help? What could you do?
Not litter.
Not litter.
If someone does litter, pick it up.
If someone does litter. Yes, I love that. She said, if someone litters, pick it up after them or tell them to pick it up. And sometimes that's hard to do when it's your friends. What would you do?
If I saw any litter, I would pick it up and fold it in the trash.
Right. And you know, and like I said, I teach kindergarten, and every once in a while I'll say, oh, could you pick that up off the floor? And every once in a while somebody forgets. Be responsible, yes. Somebody just says, it's not mine. Well, you know, if somebody's being really messy, I'm going to take care of that person, and I'm going to pull them to the side and say, you need to quit making a mess. But you just need to pick it up and show them the right way, don't you? Yes. You need to be respectful of the earth. I love that. I love that. You are really one of Evie's friends. Let's listen to what she says.
Great idea. I think you would be a great volunteer. Okay, Dad is telling me it's time to show you how you can make a difference. That Evie. Come on. This is my favorite part. Oh, look. There I am with my dad. Isn't he great? We sure do enjoy making our city a nicer place to live. Oh, wait. Look at that. Look. It's a new friend. How soon to pick up litter? If there's one thing I like more than helping keep my community clean, it's making new friends. Wow. This is great. Look at all of our new friends making our community the cleanest, nicest, and prettiest place in the world. But remember, you have to be safe when you clean up litter. You need to make sure that you never move trash near traffic or pick up anything sharp without having an adult with you to help. Only other thing you need is a trash can. And you have a trash can, and you can start treating litter the easy way. Did you know that if each of us picked up 3 pieces of litter each day, our community would be clean in no time? Wow! Look at those kids go! Remember, for your day, the easy way. Nice work, kids! Together we've had that easy, and this place is great. Hey kids, how about a game of frisbee? Kids? Well, those kids are tired of contributing. They'll be great knowing that they made their community a cleaner place.
And you know, when we made that video, it was on a very, very hot day in July. It was almost 100 degrees. And when you get to be movie stars and you make videos, you know, the directors don't let you do it just once. They make you do it over and over. So those kids had to, we put the litter out there because the park wasn't that trashed. We put that litter out there, and then we had to pick it up, and then the director says, can you do that again? Just like the cameraman, the people back there. See, those TV people know. He knows that. He said, do it again for me. So we had to do it again. So they were really tired. But did you hear what Evie said? Should you as kids ever go out picking up litter by yourself? No. You need to take an adult with you. And you should always have on gloves. Evie, even we have some of those litter grabbers that we like to use when we go out all the time. But gloves. What about, I love your shoes. Could you come here a minute? I love your shoes. They are very gorgeous. I love your shirt. But look at her shoes. Should she go pick up litter in those shoes?
No.
What could happen to you if you picked up litter?
Something could hurt me.
Yeah. All right, so come here. You come here, buddy.
Okay.
Evie, you come back here. Levy, what do you think about his shoes? Would those be good to pick up litter in? Yeah. Because you need to have on good shoes if you're going to do that. All right, should you ever run out in traffic or pick up litter? No. When Evie goes with, you know how the mayor was here from your county? Evie goes with her mayor from her community every month to pick up litter. And he tells the kids and Evie, well, you need to be safe and you need to go pick up litter in a park or you need to pick up litter where there's no traffic, okay? So did you notice that when Evie was there with just her dad, there was a lot of litter, wasn't there? It was hard to pick it up. But when her friends came along, what happened?
People picked up more trash than just all of them.
Yes. And also in this video, we did recycle all that was picked up. Well, would you like to see Evie pick up some litter?
Yes.
Okay, Evie, could you go with your daddy, who I know you're just dying to go with your daddy. Go out that way, Evie. We'll call you back in a minute, Evie. Okay, all right. All right, now you need to sit very still, hands in your lap, crisscross applesauce. And don't grab Evie when she comes in because she's working. You notice you'll get to see in a little bit, she's got this big sheriff's badge on. So this is her work. She thinks it's fun, but it's really work. All right, we've got 3 items because in the video it said pick up 3 pieces, right? What's this? Water bottle. Okay. We do use water bottles sometimes. I like to use those that you can just fill back up and use them over. But am I going to throw this in the trash? No. What am I going to do with it? Recycle it. And in our community, there's a company that takes these bottle caps, and they will take all these caps, and if your PTAs or your school send some money, then they can make benches. So all the kids save the caps. So I've got some information over there, parents, for any of your school, you know, the groups. And so do you know that this could last for, how long do you think this might last?
100 years.
What, 500, Sheila? Isn't that 500? That's hard to believe. Are we going to be around that long? No. All right, I'm going to hide this over here. And Evie does get a little wild when it comes to the bottles, so that's her favorite of all. Okay, now what's this? A can. Okay. How long might it stay around?
100.
It could stay around, they say anywhere 400, 500 years. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do what with it?
Throw it away.
We're not going to throw it away. Recycle it. Do you know that this one can, that the energy that it takes to make one can power a computer for 4 hours? And if you drink this drink and you recycle it, in 60 days, they can take it, make it into a new can, fill it back up, and it can be back in the stores again. So we absolutely want to recycle this. So I'm going to hide this back here. Of course, we're hoping she's pretty good about the cords. We'll all be prepared to grab if she runs. Okay, what's this? Paper. Oh, this could be somebody's homework. No, it's not. It's not. Am I going to throw it in the trash?
No.
What am I going to do? Recycle it, yeah. But wait a minute. What if it was that sack from Burger King? Burger King, burgers and all, they can get kind of messy. And if you've got something really messy, are you going to try to recycle that? No. Sometimes you do just have to throw some stuff away. So I'm going to put this, let's see. I'm going to put this back here by this nice gentleman. Sometimes Evie tries to pick up a lot at the same time. All right, on the count of, oh, he's picking up. Evie's got a friend already. He's picking up all the litter. All right, on the count of 3, can you call Evie's name? All right, ready? Help me. 1, 2, 3. Evie! Evie. Oh, these are such smart boys and girls, and they are so nice. But, Evie, unfortunately, somebody littered. But you do have a little new friend who was trying to help you pick up already. But Evie, somebody littered in here. It's sad. Where's she going? Evie has left the building. She left the building. She's looking for more litter. Put it. Come here. Here, go get the other one. Put it in.
One more.
One more.
One more.
Yay, Evie. She didn't look like a wild dog earlier, did she? Yeah. She gets a little wound up when she, and she likes to scope out the place. She likes to look and make sure there's no more litter. So she was going to go make sure. All right. So if Evie can do it, you guys can do it, right?
Yeah.
How many of you guys know the song Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star?
Me.
Okay, all right. I wrote a song after I wrote the book and we got Evie. I wrote a little song that goes to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, okay?
Where is it?
And we're going to sing it. You're going to help me sing it, okay? All right. The adults can help sing too. I think the words appear.
Why don't we celebrate by singing my favorite song? Maestro, strike up the band.
Evie Sue is my name. Retrieving is my favorite game. I retrieve frisbees, balls, and sticks. I can retrieve them very quick. It's so hard for me to believe. Litter bugs throw but never retrieve. Litter all around really looks bad. Litter all around makes me sad. I want to retrieve it, yes I do. It's essential that you help too. Please volunteer and help me out. We must retrieve what they pitch out. Promise me you'll never be a quitter. Keep telling everyone not to litter.
Until next time, kids, remember, go your day the Evie way, and we'll have a beautiful, clean community.
Okay. Did you like Evie's video? Yeah. Okay. And I know many of you have already pet Evie today, but usually at this point in Evie's program, we have to talk a little bit about dog safety, okay? Because should you ever just go up to a dog and start to pet it? No. What should you do first? Who should you ask? The owner. And after you ask the owner, who should you ask? Your parents, yeah. Probably ask your parents first. If you can go ask the owner, then go ask the owner. But then you need to get Evie's permission. And Mr. Harp and I have been around dogs a lot, and we've trained dogs. And we've come up with a way that Evie wants you to do it. When you go to pet a dog, make a paw, like Evie's got a paw. We just make a fist. And then we let her sniff. And she may choose to sniff, she may not. Mr. Harp says if you leave those fingers down, some people say just let her sniff. If you've got your hand like that, if they would not be so friendly, and they're not going to nip your fingers. So if you just remember to make a paw, and let her, and then you can pet her, okay? All right. And never run up to a dog, okay? And even though a dog is friendly like Evie, you never want to get in a dog's face, okay? Because that's kind of like invading your space. Do you like your friends to get in your face? No. I mean, you know, sometimes we goof around, play around. But would you like to officially pet Evie today? Can we do it one at a time? Okay. All right. You come first. You can come first. And pet Evie. And then we're going to go into, would you like to get a picture in this room? Yeah. Since we're right here and they can sit in the background. We'll get a picture in here and then we'll go in the other room and I've got bookmarks for you, okay? And color pages. All right, let's let the next one. Could you sit up here ready for a picture? Yes, I'm going to come too. I'm going in there too. And there's other people. Come on up here, buddy. Come here. You want to pet her? Come here. Come here. Let her, here. Reach up there. There, reach up there and let her smell. Oh, now pet her. Now you can open your hand and pet her. Awesome. You want to sit down here on the floor so you can, yeah. You want to pet her? Let her sniff first. You didn't let her sniff first. There you go. All right. And you can come over here and sit. Okay, you can come up. Let her sniff first. Good job. Good listener. Pet. Yeah. Awesome. All right, you come here. And we'll kind of squish together. Okay, some of you little ones can sit on the floor. All right. Okay. And we'll rearrange it when we get ready to do the pictures. Okay, put your hand out and let her sniff. All right, pet her. Yeah. Okay. You want to sit on the floor, bud? Why don't you sit on the floor? Why don't you sit on the floor here? Get right over here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good job. Good job. Evie has visited with over 60,000, so she's pretty used to this. she gets kind of, you know, she's pretty. All right, now squish together, and come here. Here, sit down. Would he like to sit on the floor? Okay. Here, why don't you scoot up a little bit so she can sit next to you. Scoot up. Scoot up. All right, you can scoot over here close to her. All right. Now, the only thing is, you want to come here? Come here. Come here. You helped Evie when she first got here. Sit down. All right. The only thing is we say, don't pet Evie. Don't put your feet on her and don't pet her during her picture, okay? Here, sit down there. Now, don't pet her during her picture, okay? Because she's got to mind the manners. Okay. All right. Look at the camera. Everybody look. Is it light enough there, you think? You got enough light? Good. Awesome. Awesome. That is so cute. Does he want in there too? No? No. Here. Evie, stay. Come back. Evie, sit. Sit. All right, stay. Evie, stay. She's going to lay on you. There, you can scoot closer to her. All right. Look again. Mr. Harp, we got another little one in here now.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
I thought it was almost there, and then they had me doing all this.
They don't have anything. I just tell them it's better things to put in your factory floor. Keep it out of there.
Where?
Good job, Eric.
So come over here. I want you to be able to touch him, so that way you know that it's not scary, it's just clothes that help protect you. Skip breathing helps you. We have about 30 minutes of air in the tank. And if we do skip breathing, we can extend it from 45 minutes to an hour.
We're just here at the Environmental Expo, we're just teaching kids about safety and what they should do and what they should not do when it comes to dealing with fires.
Do you think kids get scared of the suit?
Yes, they do. Because it's almost like a foreign person to them, so they don't know how to relate to them. It's very difficult, but you just gotta get down on their level and just show that you're the best person ever.
We did it, 156. We're supposed to be under 2 minutes. I love going on calls and helping people. When you're out in the community, you get to learn everybody in the community and their needs. And we're also doing a smoke alarm program that we are trying to put as many smoke alarms into the community as possible. So we want anybody to contact Williamson County, Station 28, and we can go ahead and do an assessment in their home and make sure they have the proper number of smoke alarms to make them safe.